What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer podcast. I'm sorry, I'm used to saying that by now, but not really a podcast, I guess. It's just more of a rants and rambles, you know what I mean? It's it's something that touches close to home, like incorporating healthy eating is more what I want to go to with this talk, you know what I mean? Healthier eating can and usually does lead to like more positive thinking, to more energies and stuff like that. So if you find that you're like having a hard time breathing when you're just doing basic stuff, you're doing you lack the ambition to do different things, it can come down to things like your diet. Like, what's your diet look like? Stuff like that, right? Are you eating fried foods? Are you eating out all the time? Are you having enough vegetables? Are you having enough dairy or any of these things, right? Sometimes if you're native like myself and dairy products aren't really the best for you, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. You might be lactose intolerant or something like that. And, these things can play a major factor, and you should probably consult like a dietitian or something like that, and if you notice those things are like out of whack and stuff like that, that can lead to things like that. So it can lead to lack of confidence. It can get you chunkier. It can get you with being chunkier, lack of confidence and various things like that. I know those things because, I battle through those things at the same time. I'm still battling it, and, I have little goals in mind, and it's up to me to strive for those things. And if you're not willing to strive for those things, you might never achieve those things. Nobody's going to do it for you. No miracle pill, none of that jazz. No doctors. They'll be able to show you a way and help you with steps on the way to doing that, but they're not going to do it for you, and nobody is, okay? Only one person is. That's going to be yourself. You put in that hard work, and that's essentially what it is, hard work, right? You can also be putting in hard work, but if your diet's not there, your body's going to show it, and the only person you're fooling is yourself. I say that many times, but because I know from experience that you can't you can't outwork a bad diet. No matter what. You can be lifting weights, you can be running, you can be doing all these things, and if it's not showing, there's a reason why. It's probably because you're not eating the right things for yourself, the correct fuel in your body. I know us native peoples, we don't really have like the healthiest food. Nobody does, though. It's not just native people. It's natives, African Americans, Asians. You know what I mean? And it also comes with a combination of just overeating in general. You can eat those things like fried bread and stuff like that. Oh, I love me some fried bread. Indian tacos and stuff. Dude, you kidding me? Fucking nummy. But it doesn't mean you have to gorge on it all the time. Like once in a while or something like that. And there ain't no shame in it, but you should probably incorporate like more veggies, more fruits, easily digestible carbohydrates or something. You know what I mean? And go from there. But I would most definitely talk to like a dietitian or something like that. I mean, I've never have. I just did research and tried to do things that had worked for me, essentially, because essentially a good diet, it doesn't mean that you have to cut necessarily stop eating, but it does involve some calculating. It does involve some trial and error, doing things that fits you and allows you to continue to do those things and to take those little steps towards your bigger goals. You know what I mean? So like eating more fruits, eating more vegetables, and various things like that, incorporating more proteins in your diet as opposed to and cutting out calories as you go. You don't have to cut out the calories all the way. It could be a cheat day or something like that, and various things like that. So these are things that you have to take into account that can also affect your mental psyche. The more you start losing, the more leaner that you get, the more confidence you're going to get, and like if you're working out and you're having a better diet, you're probably going to heal faster, and you're going to be able to do more workouts, and your body's going to start taking in certain things to help it recover a lot faster than if you were just scarfing down hamburgers, which, like I said, I'm not judging. I love me a good old hamburger sometimes, but I also know it's not good for me. But, sometimes you just say fuck it and you just do it anyways, and various things like that. And I know it doesn't sound like the correct thing or whatever, but it's the truth, right? And instead of lying to yourself, you got to see your bullshit. You got to call yourself out on it. And a lot of times when I'm talking these casts or with like people, that I'm not directing any of these things towards people. It's more at myself. It's more an internal battle. Like I said, this podcast was made a lot for myself, because I lack confidence and I lack a lot of these things. And sometimes I got to kick myself in my own ass, and I go back and I listen to them, and I'm like, yeah, come on, dude, you got to do this shit. Keep doing it. Nobody's gonna do it but yourself, and you got to keep telling yourself that, whether it's you record it or not. You just say it in your head, and hold yourself. You got to hold yourself to it. There's like somebody like Joe Rogan. He'll say like, write down your things. So then you have it in handwriting, and you got to hold yourself to it. Nobody's gonna hold you to it. Not God, not nobody. Okay, so these are little things, and like I could say them. It's easy to say. It's very difficult to do, and stuff like that. And especially if your goal is to lose weight. I don't recommend just like extreme dieting right away. I recommend like going slow and cutting out some of the bad things that you recognize. Maybe even like start out by writing record what you're doing, and then you can look back from there, and then you can go from there to kind of like write notes for yourself, and that's a big part of it. Like, people don't understand that it's going to take more effort than just talking about it and having somebody do it for you. And that's when you plan things out like that, and then you achieve it, and then you go and do it, then it makes it that much more sweeter, and it gives you that much more confidence to even know what you're talking about, So, and if you have kids, like, that set a better example for them, and then you can help them in the future too, because not everybody had somebody there to tell them like, hey man, put down that donut, put down that ice cream, that this is better for you as opposed to that. So I try to do that for my son. He loves his vegetables, so that's a good thing, and I'm glad, because I wasn't really much of a vegetable eater. Like, when we did eat vegetables, it was like stuck into something like SOS or something, like cube steak with what is that? Some mashed potatoes and some that gravy with was that cube steak, stuff like that. So it not exactly the most healthiest, but it's not the worst thing for you, especially when you're a kid. So, and when you're a kid, it's you burn a lot more energy because you're smaller, you don't eat as much, and you're running around all the time. So, but as you progress and get older, and you might develop a bigger appetite and stuff like that. So those are things to take into account, and if you want to do something about it, you just got to do it. But it involves you recognizing those things and then doing something about it. And sometimes it's gonna take more work than saying you're going to do it. It might involve you writing it down, recording things, and then doing some research into different things and different avenues to go down, and just like you might try to a ketogenic diet, and maybe it's hard for you to restrict yourself to like 20 carbohydrates a day, because I think that's what the ketogenic diet is like mass majority proteins and stuff like that. But you can have as much fat as you want, but you have to restrict yourself on carbohydrates. So you can only have like 20 grams carbs. And if that's not for you, try something else. Try something that allows you to have a little bit more carbohydrates, but not like bad carbohydrates, like not a Snickers bar, not, cake or something like that. More like rice-based stuff, like single carbohydrate source or something like that. Might be potato or something like that. But you got to know that you still can't eat too much of that stuff at the same time. So it comes from within, and it comes with you ultimately planning things out. So this is going to be a short one, and that was just something in between me waiting for my freaking snow blower to thaw out so I can go back out there and continue to do that, which is very fun. So much fun, but it's work. It gets the sweat going, and it makes you feel good after you do it because you got something accomplished, right? And stuff like that. So I hope you guys stay safe in the weather. If you guys are driving, if the roads are bad, take your time. Don't be in a rush. I almost seen freaking semi, like the back trailer, freaking slide over and hit somebody yesterday because they were impatient and tried to pass them on the highway, which wasn't plowed yet. You know what I mean? Take those things into consideration. So if you're a truck driver out there, take your time, please. Don't kill somebody out there or act on accident, obviously, because of Mother Nature. But, we all want to go home to our families at the end of the day and, let them die of natural causes, not by your trailer hitting them. So it was kind of scary, and I seen it in like the back. I was like, holy shit, this dude's ballsy, but and then because he's seen it too, and then he almost swerved into the ditch. Like, what good comes from being impatient? Because of the wind was up, all that snow coming down. We didn't get as much as we thought we were going to, but we still got quite a bit. So, but my thing's about thawed out, and I just wanted to take a few minutes here to address those things. It was on my mind, so I felt like talking about it. And, I thought it was a good thing. It's a good thing for people to listen to, and it's going to be a good thing for myself to listen to as well, because these are the things that go off in my mind and that help me try to achieve those things, So, but at the same time, you can't be lying to yourself, and you gotta frickin' hold yourself accountable. So hope you guys have a great one. Peace.